Hi, I'm Sylvia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm speaking about Mars in Leo and what it represents if you have it or if someone has it in their birth chart. And I'll start with what Mars represents in astrology but also in someone's birth chart. Now, Mars is the planet of action, and it actually speaks about what gets us out of the bed in the morning. So, basically, what motivates us. What is the reason behind our actions? Why we are doing what we are doing? But Mars also rules it rules the sign of Aries, which can represent war, fights, soldiers, army. So basically, when we speak about Mars and Aries, we also need to speak about strategy. And this is because, for example, if you go to a war or if you're an army or a soldier, usually you need to have a strategy. So basically, Mars in our birth chart also speaks about our strategy and what kind of strategy we will create in order to get what we want. So Mars is a very ambitious planet, let's say, and it's very it can also be very aggressive sometimes. For example, if it wants or if he wants, because Mars is a masculine planet, so if he wants to achieve something, sometimes he can be very aggressive um, and very competitive. So when we're speaking about Mars, we're speaking about competitiveness as well, wanting to be the best, and having the ambition to be the best, and also uh, the drive, because Mars also speaks about the drive that we have, the willpower that we have. It also speaks about desires, what we desire. Now, Mars is a very it's a very uh, it's all about initiation and how we initiate things, how we approach things in our life. And it's also a very innovative, let's say, energy. It's the pioneer as well. And Mars also speaks about the courage and the risk, or the willingness to take risk in order for us to get what we want. So Mars is also very brave, very courageous, and Mars wants to explore new territories as well, and this is why it's so innovative, basically. And Mars always has the enthusiasm to start new things and to get out their comfort zone as well. Now, Mars is also very autonomous, it's very independent, it knows what it wants, and it doesn't have too much patience. When they want something, when Mars wants something, it wants it now. And let's say the shadow side of Mars is being sometimes too independent, uh, without taking into consideration what other people feel or what other people need. It can be sometimes a bit too aggressive. Mars is very direct, it's very outspoken. Okay, so Mars doesn't sugarcoat things. Mars doesn't use roundabouts, for example, to get what it wants, unless maybe it has a, let's say, an aspect to Pluto, and in that case, things can change a bit. But Mars generally is direct action. They go straight to their objective, and Mars is also, like I said, very outspoken, very direct, sometimes even brutally honest. And Mars is also the planet of attack. Okay, so this can have a more positive or a bit more less positive or negative meaning. But Mars is definitely about attack and strategy, like I said before. Now, if we're speaking about Mars from a, let's say, from a romantic point of view or sexual point of view, Mars represents sex. It represents sexual desire, what turns us on, what we want to experience in bed, for example. Mars is a masculine planet, so it definitely rules over men and it rules over their masculinity too. When it comes to a man, it also speaks about how he chases a woman or how he gets the woman that he wants, for example. So basically, it's all about how men uh, attract, or better say, how they approach women. This is what Mars is about. But Mars obviously is the planet that rules literally the act of sex. So it's for women in someone's birth chart, it speaks about the kind of man she's attracted to, especially from a sexual point of view, basically. So let's say if a woman it's has, let's say, Mars in Gemini, she will be, in order for her to stimulate her or uh, to uh, to conquer her or to make her want something more, let's say, from a sexual point of view, you first of all need to stimulate her mind, basically. And it depends how you speak with her, the words that you use, that she might find, let's say, uh, the words that makes her want, let's say, to have sex with a man. I think you do get what I'm trying to say here. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that a woman who has Gemini, who has Mars in Gemini, can be turned on by words or by certain words. Now, let's speak about the sign of Leo. Now, the sign of Leo is definitely the sign that rules over fame. So, the sign of Leo wants to be seen, wants to be recognized, wants to be praised for its uniqueness or for its gorgeousness, or just for being, simply being themselves. And the sign of Leo wants recognition, wants to shine, wants to be adored by other people, and they don't shy away from let's say from the public eye. Actually, it wants to get all the attention to itself, basically. So the sign of Leo definitely also speaks about famous people. It speaks about the elite. It speaks about the privileged people, and it also rules over kings. So it speaks about people who have a lot of power in our society, people who have a high social status in our society, definitely, or who is adored. But of course, Leo also is a very creative sign. Leo is the sign of performers, of performing, anything that has to do with, for example, acting, and it rules over actors, singers, artists, dancers, performers, and entertainment. And the sign of Leo is definitely about also about being somewhere at the top, basically, and trying to, or putting effort into being famous. They might not be, let's say, famous like I don't know, Madonna, although she's a Leo sun, but they do want to be known, or they do want to get fame in their community, for example, I don't know, in their town or in their city or whatever. And Leo wants to draw all the attention on itself. That's for sure. Now, Leo is also a fixed sign, which means that they can also be stubborn. And once they have something on their mind, or they want to get something, or they have some ideas on their mind, it's very difficult for them to give up on those ideas, or um, they can be quite stubborn sometimes. And Leo, like, it can be very generous, it can be very warm, because Leo rules the heart, rules romance as well, and even flirting. It can also rule flirting, and many times the reason why it rules flirting is not only because they are warm-hearted people, but it also flatters their ego, basically. And uh, the sign of Leo obviously is a sign which is very proud. It's a sign that values themselves a lot. And it's also the sign that speaks about, like I said before, prestige, basically. Okay, so what does it mean to have Mars in Leo? Well, Mars in Leo people want to achieve fame, or they want to achieve a high social status in our society. They want to achieve power as well. They want to be recognized, they want to be seen, they want to be praised. They want to become somebody in this lifetime, not just anybody, but somebody. And actually, there are a lot of celebrities or famous people or artists who have Mars in Leo, which is not a surprise, because their main motivation in this lifetime is to become famous and is to become the center of attention, and to be praised, to be loved by others, to be adored. And what I found very interesting, to be honest, is the fact that a lot of politicians have Mars in Leo, which is not a surprise for me at all. And I'm just going to name a few, the most, let's say, the most famous politicians who have Mars in Leo, although there are a lot more politicians with Mars in Leo, but I'm just going to name a few. And the first one is Donald Trump. He was the president of the United States, and he also has a Leo rising, and I think it's pretty obvious why he wanted to become the president. And this is because it flattered his ego. He wanted to be part of the elite, although he kind of is already part of the elite. He is a very successful uh, millionaire or billionaire, I don't know, but anyway, he's very rich. He has already a lot of power, but probably he wanted even more power. Another one is Hillary Clinton, okay, and she ran for president of the United States, if I'm not mistaken, in 2016. And there was actually a presidential debate between her and Donald Trump. And if you want to see how a Mars and Leo person competes, then definitely you should see that, you should watch that debate, which took place in 2016. I watched it, and to be honest, it didn't surprise me, obviously, because Mars and Leo people are very proud and they're very competitive, that's for sure, because what gets them going is wanting to prove to themselves and to everyone else that they are the best. And Another person who's a politician and has Mars in Leo, we're going again to speak about American politics, is Kamala Harris. She has Mars in Leo too, which is not a surprise. Hello. And another person who has Mars in Leo is the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. So as you can see, Mars in Leo, people can achieve a very, very powerful position in our society. And they are, like I said, very competitive. And their main aim is also to prove to anyone that I am the best of the best. And I'm going to be very competitive and I'm going to show everyone that I am the best, basically. So this is definitely something which is very typical for a Leo Mars person. So basically, they can fight, and usually it's like if you're challenging them, if you're challenging their ego or their greatness, they will fight a lot and they will be very competitive just to show that they are indeed the best. And one of the, let's say, I wouldn't really say the negative side of Mars in Leo, but the shadow side of Mars in Leo is the fact that they can have a very fragile ego and they can get very aggressive or very competitive, or they can attack you or feel very easily attacked if you question or if you challenge their power or their greatness. So they can get very easily offended if you attack or they feel like you have attacked their ego or their greatness. Now, obviously, uh, the biggest the biggest reason or their biggest aim or desire in life is becoming or being the best, being famous or being popular, or being adored or being appreciated or liked by others, or seen as a role model. And even if they might not become like the next president of the United States, for example, they will definitely want to be the best or the most famous people in their community, for example. And they can also be very domineering, okay? So they will always, even in a crowd, they will want to dominate the situation. And they're not usually very shy or timid or reserved. No, they are very outspoken. They can be very loud, even in a crowd or at a party. They can be, the party animal or the life of the party, the loudest person. And let's not forget, Leo, it's a very creative sign. So they can actually be, make a lot of jokes. They can entertain other people. That's very important as well, because Leo is the sign, like I said, of the sign of entertainment. So they can get all the attention or direct all the attention to themselves when they are entertaining other people, or if they, let's say, like I said before, make jokes, may add or be the life of the party. And all their actions are directed towards becoming or being the best, or being praised, or being in the spotlight, or being the center of attention, or being adored by other people, and even being, because Mars in Leo can also be bossy, okay? So sometimes they might not shy away from bossing other people around, let's say, or dominating others just to show how great and amazing they are. Now, when they have a goal, and they usually have a very clear goal, they are not the type of people who are confused or who are indecisive. No, they're not indecisive. They know exactly what they want. And when they have a goal, they have perseverance, they have stamina, and they are, even if they have some challenges, they can encounter some challenges on their path to success. They are definitely not going to give up. They will fight, and they are great fighters, and they don't give up. Okay, so they have a lot of perseverance, and they are true fighters, and they do want to achieve success. Okay, so it's very important for them to be successful. um Now, obviously, like I said before, sometimes they can be a bit too bossy. One of the shadow side of Mars in Leo is that they can have this superior complex, like I am better than anyone, and people should do whatever I want because I say so. Or they can have this attitude of, do you realize who I am? Okay. And maybe I am entitled to whatever I want because, this is me, because I'm the best of the best, I'm superior, I deserve the best, or something like that. And sometimes just to prove their dominance, or if, like I said before, or if you somehow, uh, if you offend their ego, which is very big, let's be honest, it can be very big. They can be quite honestly brutal, or they can fight against you big time. I wouldn't really say that they will resent you necessarily, but Mars is a very aggressive planet, okay? So they can actually hurt you sometimes too. Why not? I'll be honest. And they can also offend other people, um, or they can make other people feel like they are inferior. Okay, so this is another thing which can be a bit problematic for Mars in Leo people. So Mars in Leo is also very creative. And actually, a lot of performers or singers, actors have Mars in Leo. And this is also because Mars rules over moves. So, one very famous performer and also singer is Michael Jackson, who had Mars in Leo.